A new Golden State Warriors super team is about to form. Now, as you all know, the Warriors have had a pretty rocky start to the season and they are looking to make some massive trades before the NBA trade deadline. In today's video, we're going to be going through the 5 potential trades that have been rumored as of recent that could help this Golden State Warriors team get back into the playoff picture and hopefully help them win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first trade idea is to trade Zach LaVine for Chris Paul and a couple of draft picks and Moses Moody. So this one is a massive one because this is probably on the top of the list of the biggest trades that the Golden State Warriors can make, and both teams are very much interested. So this was actually talked about on ESPN the other day, and Zach LaVine could be coming to the Golden State Warriors for Chris Paul and Moses Moody and also a couple of draft picks. And I think Zach LaVine would be a perfect fit for what the Golden State Warriors are trying to do. When it comes to this pick, what I love about it the most is that they wouldn't have to give up their star players that they have right now, such as Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, or even Draymond Green, in order to make this trade. Now, although Chris Paul is a star, I think when it comes to his time in the Warriors, it hasn't seemed to be working out the way that they thought it would, and now may be time to actually get another great player and also a young star from it. Zach LaVine is only 28 years old. He is turning 29, but he stands at 6'5", 200 pounds, and is averaging 19.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. I think he's a fantastic player, not only just his scoring ability, but his ability to actually play solid defense on both ends of the floor. When it comes to offense and defense, I like his game in that way. When it comes to his efficiency from the field, he shoots 54%, which is great, and an effective field goal percentage of 54% is just above the average, and on top of that, shoots 36% from the three-point line. So I think it is honestly fantastic to have someone like Zach LaVine in this conversation, because I think what Zach LaVine can do for this team is definitely massive. When it comes to LaVine, he does have that star power that is definitely needed, and the fact that he is out right now with an ankle injury, I think the Golden State Warriors can definitely get him for a very cheap price. And this is why this trade makes the most sense, but also has the most value from it, from a perspective of not giving up too many stars in order to get a player like Zach LaVine. Moses Moody has done a fantastic job for the Warriors so far, but I think it may be time to move on, as they are trying to make the most of Stephen Curry's peak as much as possible. LaVine can also, if possible, come off the bench, or he could replace Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins in that starting lineup. But either way, I think he would definitely be a huge asset due to the fact that he is a big time scorer as of this team, and I do think he will add a lot to it. The second is trading Chris Paul, Moses Moody, and a couple of draft picks again for Gordon Hayward. Now, this one is obviously an obvious one in the sense that Chris Paul, Moses Moody are definitely highly on the trading block, and these are trades that have been actually offered to certain teams. So it does seem that the Warriors are willing to give up Moody and CP3 as of right now, and it was mentioned in an earlier interview when it comes to the GM of the Golden State Warriors that they would only trade Klay Thompson and Draymond Green if Stephen Curry agrees to it. And I think that is honestly huge due to the fact that Curry has so much loyalty to those two guys. I think, when it comes to trade options now, the best thing they can do is to trade their other stars such as CP3 and also even add in Moses Moody. Now, when it comes to Gordon Hayward, I think this would honestly be fantastic. Hayward is, a great player at 6'7", 225 pounds. He is a little bit younger than Chris Paul, but not too much younger at 33 years old. And on top of that, he's averaging 14.5 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. So I think he would be a fantastic player for the Golden State Warriors due to the fact that the Warriors are really struggling on the offensive side of things. It's not that they don't have great three-point shooters, because they do have the greatest three-point shooter alive and probably considered the second greatest in Klay Thompson. However, where they really do struggle is definitely getting a lot more versatility on offense, as they can't always rely on threes. And this is where Gordon Hayward can definitely be a perfect fit. Hayward is a great three-point shooter, do not get me wrong, he's shooting 37% from the three, but his two-point game, mid-range, inside finishing is definitely second to none. He is averaging an effective field goal percentage of 51%, and I do believe when it comes to his versatility, not just on offense but on defense as well, he could definitely be a huge asset for what the Warriors are trying to build. The third is to trade Kevon Looney and also Chris Paul for Nick Claxton. Now, as you all know, Nick Claxton is a very young up-and-coming player from the Brooklyn Nets who's 24 years old, 6'11", 215 pounds, but moves like a guard. Now, he may not show it MVP type numbers, but he is averaging 12.4 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, while also shooting 64% from the field. Yes, guys, you heard that right. right, 64%. That is honestly insane. He's an efficient scorer. He doesn't shoot that many three balls, but his inside presence is definitely felt, and he definitely does shoot it at a very high clip. Even the season before, he actually shot an effective field goal percentage of 70%. So he actually is doing a little bit worse, but he's still definitely in a top tier of his own. When it comes to his rebounding ability, it's second to none. One of the longest wingspans I have ever seen besides Victor Wembanyama. But when it comes to Claxton, I think he would honestly be a great fit due to the fact that he does have the size, standing at 6'11" to guard any big guys, but he's also got the speed to stay in front of those guards. So I do believe the small ball that the Warriors are running, it doesn't seem to be working out very well, and we definitely saw that in the Lakers double OT loss due to the fact that when it came to Golden State Warriors, they really did struggle against LeBron and also AD out there, and that's one of the reasons why getting a fast-paced type of big like Claxton could honestly be very beneficial. On top of that, if we look at Claxton as well, he is a up-and-coming star in a sense that, you know, he's still very young, 24 years old, and he's getting better as time goes on. There's definitely a lot of potential behind him, and that's one of the reasons why this trade, in order for it to happen, the Golden State Warriors would have to give up a little bit for it. You know, adding Kevon Looney to that trade and also Chris Paul, you're giving away two solid players for one up-and-coming star or up-and-coming great player, and because of those reasons, that's why there is a lot of risk to this trade. But when it comes to, you know, where the Warriors are right now, it does seem that they need to take any risk possible due to the fact that they are not in a position to win a championship or even make the playoffs. So one of the reasons why this trade makes the most sense and could actually be a high risk but high reward trade. The fourth is trading for DeJounte Murray. Now, as you all know, DeJounte Murray is a fantastic player and he is on the trading block as of right now, but he's also a very hot item due to the fact that every single team wants him in their roster. And because of that, the Golden State Warriors would have to come up with a big trade in order for this to happen. Now, when it comes to the rumors running around, there hasn't been any trade rumors that have been mentioned as of right now when it comes to trading for DeJounte Murray from the Golden State Warriors, but there are some NBA fans or even Warriors fans that have come up with certain scenarios, and in those trade talks, they have mentioned that Chris Paul may be in the trade, Moses Moody, and maybe even Kevon Looney to get someone of DeJounte Murray's caliber. It's rather that or you trade two good players and also a couple of draft picks, but I do believe when it comes to getting someone of DeJounte Murray, who is 27 years old, 6'5", 180 pounds, and is still a great player, one-time All-Star as well, I do believe that the Warriors would have to give up a little bit more than the others. Due to the fact that he is still a very young player, I definitely think that is a huge sign. He is coming into his peak years, you know, 27 to around 33 is definitely the peak years for an NBA player, and now that he is entering to it, a lot of people do want to be there and want to take advantage of his great ability. Now, he is averaging 21.4 points, 5 rebounds, and also 5.1 assists for the Atlanta Hawks, so he has been putting up some good numbers all around. But when it comes to DeJounte Murray, what I love about his game is due to the fact that he's not only an offensive player, but he's a highly great defensive player as well. He is averaging 1.3 steals and 0.3 blocks, but what doesn't come up on the stat sheet is definitely his defensive ability, his ability to contest shots, get around screens, and just play all around good defense no matter who's in front of him, whether it's a big or even whether it's a guard. A lot of people do forget that even though he is, you know, around that point guard position and he can play shooting guard, he is 6'5", and he is considered pretty tall when it comes to the players that the Warriors have right now. We all know Warriors love to run small ball, and I think DeJounte Murray's defense could definitely be needed. The fifth player is none other than trading Kevon Looney, a couple of draft picks, and Chris Paul for Jerami Grant. Now, as you all know, Jerami Grant has been a fantastic player for the Portland Trail Blazers ever since Damian Lillard left, and he stands at 6'7", 210 pounds, and is only 29 years old, and is averaging 21.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists for the Portland Trail Blazers. So he has done a fantastic job in being able to actually step up his game. I think it is fantastic to see what Jerami Grant is able to do even at 6'7", while also playing that power forward and even sometimes center position. He's a fantastic player in a sense that he is capable of even guarding big men even at 6'7", and although, you know, the Warriors do love running small ball, I think Jerami Grant could definitely fit that bill as well. Jerami Grant's not only a great offensive player, averaging 21 points like we said, but he's also shooting 40% from the three-point line and 53% from the effective field goal percentage, while also averaging 0.8 blocks and 0.7 steals. So his defensive ability is definitely there. When it comes to his rebounding ability, it is a little bit subpar, only averaging 3.7, but I do believe that is something that other players can definitely make up for in the Warriors roster. What the Warriors definitely need is another scorer, and especially in the big man sector. Draymond Green isn't too much of a scorer, so is Kevon Looney. I think Dario Saric is only the pure scorer for that big man role, and he has done a fantastic job for the Warriors so far. But coming into that starting lineup, they definitely need a big man scorer, and I think Jerami Grant could definitely be that guy. On top of that, not only is he a great three-point shooter, but he is capable of driving to the hole. He has a nice dribble on him due to the fact that he does, has been playing, shooting guard, small forward at times. And because of that, I definitely think it could be beneficial for what the Golden State Warriors are trying to build.